Hello everyone, I'm Manya Singh and I'm a student of engineering physics at IIT Roorkee, and today I'm going to give a presentation on digital to analog converter and its interfacing with the 8085 microprocessor kit. The flow of my presentation is going to be somewhat like this. I'm going to start with talking about what is digital and analog signals and why is there a need for conversion. Then I'll talk about what is a DAC and I'll move on to two types of DAC, binary weighted DAC and R2R ladder type DAC. Then I'm going to talk about interfacing DAC with the 8085 microprocessor kit, and then I'll talk about how to generate a sawtooth waveform using the 8085 microprocessor kit, and finally I'll talk about the applications of DAC. So starting with what are digital and analog signals. Basically analog signals are continuous signals and they can take any value between a given set of ranges, whereas digital signals are discrete signals and they can take only discrete values or specific values, can only take specific values. Analog signals are represented by sine waves and digital signals are represented by square waves. So basically everything that you hear or everything that we as human beings process are in the form of analog signals. When I'm saying I'm producing an analog signal which is converted into digital signal for the purpose of processing it by the computer and then transmission, but the signals that we perceive are essentially analog signals. The analog signals can be used only in analog devices such as a microphone or a speaker, whereas digital signals are suitable for digital electronics like computers, mobiles, etc. So the question that we need to ask ourselves is, why do we need digital signals at all? Why can't everything be analog signals, and why can't we store analog signals as well as process and transmit it? Digital signals have lots of advantages over analog signals. The first and foremost being that storing a digital signal is much more easy as they have a finite set of data points. Digital signals are also more secure and they do not get damaged by noise. Digital signals use low bandwidth and they allow signal transmitted over a lengthy distance, and perhaps the most important advantage is that by using these signals we can translate messages, audio and video into a device language which can be then transmitted into n number of devices. So for example, you can transmit a message or a video from your computer to your mobile to your television, and then that it can be later converted into analog signal to be played by the device. So DAC is acronym for digital to analog converter, and as the name suggests, DAC is a device that converts digital data into analog data. So for example, in this case the DAC is the sound card in this example, and it converts the digital data sent from a computer to an analog data which is received by the speaker and then later turned into sound. DAC accepts a binary input and converts it into analog voltage or current, and every DAC has n input lines and an analog output. So for example, in this case we have an 8-bit DAC. It has 8 digital input lines and 1 analog voltage output lines. The DAC also requires a reference analog voltage, and the DAC has a resolution which is the smallest possible analog value that can be represented by the n-bit binary code. So the resolution of a DAC with n-bit binary input is going to be 1 by 2 to the power n of the reference analog value. So for example, if we have a reference voltage of 5 volts, the output is going to be 0, and then it's going to jump in pieces of 5 by 2 to the power 8 volts, and the total number of values that we're going to get is 256, which is 2 to the power 8. Next I'm going to talk about the two types of DAC. The first one is a binary weighted DAC, which is essentially composed of resistors and an operational amplifier. So in this case it is easy to see that the V output is going to be V1 by R into R plus V2 by 2R into R plus V3 by 4R into R, and since it is an inverse operational amplifier, we get a negative sign here. And we can see that the V output is a combination of the 3 inputs that we get in a weighted format, and this ensures that all the different inputs that we're going to give from 0 0 0 to 1 1 1 will have a different corresponding V output. We can understand this better by using this example of a 4-bit DAC, binary weighted DAC. This example, the V reference is 1 volt and the resistors goes from RF to RF by 8, and we give an input of 1101, and this input is converted into an analog output of minus 13 volt. The issue with this type of DAC is that as we increase the number of bits, we need to increase the value of the resistance. So for example, if we have a 12-bit DAC, the largest value of the resistor will have to be 2048 times the value of the smallest resistor, and so this approach becomes impractical very quickly. The next thing that we talk about is our 2R ladder type DAC, which is something that we use more often. The principle here remains the same. The advantages are that it uses only two values of resistors, R and 2R. It is easily scalable to any number of bits, and the output impedance is going to be R always, and the V output in this case also comes out to be something like V reference into R reference by R into D2 by 2 to the power 1 by D1 by 2 to the power 2 plus D0 by 2 to the power 3 plus so on and so forth as we increase the number of bits. So now that we've talked about what is a DAC and how is a DAC made, basically, talk about how do we interface a DAC with an 8085 microprocessor. So in this case, we interface the DAC with the 8085 system via latch, which basically the processor sends a signal, which is an address which is decoded by the decoder in the microprocessor system to produce a chip select signal. Then the microprocessor sends the digital data to the latch. The buffer and the inverter produces sufficient delay for the chip select so that the latch is clocked only after the data is arrived at the input lines of the latch, and then when the latch is clocked, the digital data is sent to the DAC, which converts it into a current, and the op amp converts it into a voltage, which can be further analyzed using an oscilloscope. So the next we are going to study is a program to generate sawtooth waveform. So basically in this program we initialize the port ABC to output. We move the HL pointer, we initialize the HL pointer to 2028, and then we initialize the counter, which is 8, and then we output it through 8B, output the data in the accumulator through port B, which is here. And then we save the register pair, and then we generate a delay which ensures that the output is sustained for some amount of time, and then we increment the memory pointer and decrease the counter, and then we check if the counter is 0. So if the counter is not 0, we jump to this step again, which is what we do here. We generate another waveform, we increment the counter and decrease the counter, and we keep on doing this till the counter reaches to the value 0. So in this case the counter value is 0, we skip this step and then we move on to the next step, which is move load 0 to the accumulator and then out, and then we output it, and then after that we again generate a delay, and then we repeat the entire process where my address is at pointer is again at the address 2028 and the counter is again set to 8, and I repeat this process again and again to reach my final waveform. The applications of DAC are basically it converts digital data into analog. So the applications are mostly found in audio systems, in video systems, and also in graphic systems where you convert digital inputs into corresponding colors to be displayed on a screen. So these are the basic applications of DAC, and with this, thank you. I'm going to end my presentation, and I'm thankful for the opportunity to be able to present in such a unique format a presentation, and thank you for watching this.